You too was good as your boy Benji, and we are back balling. The narrative has opened up again. Caitlin Clark is now the face of a lot of dissension amongst fans, players, coaches, and it's almost as if she become a scapegoat. What am I talking about? Let's get into it, man. It's your boy Benji. Let's get back balling.
Oh my God! Man's a chill. Yo, who man's is this? Somebody come get this.
But yes, I think a lot of this started prior to Caitlin Clark even getting into the WNBA, going way back to when she did the "No, You Can't See Me" to Louisville, which was actually, according to Caitlin Clark and Haley Van Lith at the time, to her own bench. Caitlin Clark was breaking records as early as her sophomore year in college. And here we are today. She's been a topic of discussion for a while, and it's been her unique play style. I think that's really caught the attraction of viewers and fans and casuals alike, because obviously a lot of people are comparing her to Steph Curry in the way that when she crosses half court, she's a threat to the defense with her combination of shooting and playmaking. She came into the WNBA as the #1 draft pick. Why does all that matter? Because her name has been the only problem. I could say her name has been the extra little spice you need to throw into an argument, to a stew, to create chaos. With more fame comes more problems. So let's look at an interview here with Caitlin Clark about not making the Olympic team, which I think became a good point of dissension because a lot of people believe that she should have made the team, because she's driven the numbers so crazy for the WNBA this season that plenty of people believe that it would only help the game and further the opportunities for the women's team. Here's what Caitlin Clark had to say about this.
Of disappointment not having your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, like, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, like, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, like, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
Okay. So if you didn't catch it, Caitlin Clark is able to talk about highlighting the talent that is on the team. Also, I don't want to downplay guys that I should have been there. There's plenty of talent. Go watch the talent. Right? Cool. Thank you so much, Miss Caitlin Clark. We obviously all remember the incident that she had with the Chicago Sky's Kennedy Carter, where she was pushed, and a lot of people felt like there was no place for that in the game, and a lot of people started throwing in their naysay opinions. A lot of the Chicago Sky players were harassed, and a video came out from the incident.
Ms. Carter, have you got a chance to reach out to Caitlin?
Hey, man, come on with that.
Relax. Have you got a chance to reach out to Caitlin?
Okay, so people felt like this and somehow was Caitlin Clark's fault. That paparazzi were following the stars of the WNBA. Now, I can argue that, yes, I think they're people and they should be allowed an opportunity to actually set themselves up to address media and not be bombarded before they get into their hotel after an instance. But, of course, arguments was made that Caitlin Clark's situation was put to the forefront when there was plenty of other players that have been on the receiving end, a lot of physicality, and they didn't get a lot of love for it. Okay, cool. Plenty of people also made the discussion about about players not really showing love like they should have been, because there wasn't many people that stepped up and actually voiced, especially within the league, that Caitlin Clark was maybe being treated unfairly at all. Even Caitlin Clark went into interviews and addressed the media saying, it's no big deal, it's physicality, I've got to get stronger, I've got to play through it. But the discourse became, people are hating and people are attacking Caitlin Clark. Rachel DeMita here, who has been a long-time spokesperson for the NBA and the WNBA and NBA 2K, she voiced her opinion on this.
Seen so many examples of hard fouls, dirty plays, and teams celebrating when she gets chucked to the floor. We have also not heard from any of the other star players and veterans in the WNBA. Why aren't they speaking out about some of this? Whether fans, medias, players like it
So the media has talked about it
or not, most of the new eyeballs that are on the WNBA right now are there because of Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Like in USA Gymnastics, Simone Biles is the reason a lot of people watch gymnastics. Yes, there's undoubtedly other great women on that team, but most of the fans come to watch gymnastics for Simone Biles. Just like in golf years back, Tiger Woods was the reason that sport gained the popularity that it did. And yes, it's a great rookie class of the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is the reason. Do we really think that, God forbid, she gets hurt for the rest of the season, that ticket sales and viewership are going to be the same? No chance. And right now, the media is loving all of these fight clips that they get to upload because that's what's getting clicks. We're not highlighting how well the women are playing on the court. We're highlighting which player is going to hurt Caitlin Clark the most. She came out of last night's game because she got hurt. And also, us as women at this point are giving the men more ammo to talk crap about us. It goes back to the point of women not supporting other women and women willing to sabotage another woman at the expense of themselves, and at this point the expense of the entire league. There's way too much talent in the WNBA for this to be what the media and everyone is talking about.
I agree. There's a product on the court, like Caitlin Clark has addressed in a previous interview. There's a product on the court that I think everybody needs to pay attention to. There's drama outside of it. There's drama that probably coincides inside of the court. Sure, we have plenty of things for the casuals to talk about, for that allow them to tune into the game and create storylines, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, there's plenty of good hoopers that are out there. Now, why does all this make sense? Because plenty are arguing that Caitlin Clark is not the catalyst for the jump in viewership and fans in attendance, when the stats have shown that Caitlin Clark has accounted for 33% of the WNBA attendance. Caitlin Clark games are receiving record-breaking numbers. The Fever are playing in different arenas, and a lot of away games they're gonna have to move arenas simply to accommodate the amount of ticket sales. Okay, sure, people are interested in watching Caitlin Clark, but I feel as if people are trying to appoint her with all these positions where she is just trying to make a name for herself, and I don't think she believes that she's at the point where she should be the face of the league. Obviously, she probably has a lot of confidence in herself, but she has in no way addressed the media to say that she should be the face of the league. And she's mentioned that there's plenty of talent out there, and she's just trying to improve and play to the best of her ability. Obviously, she's the number one pick for a reason. Obviously, she's done numbers in college for a reason. She works, she's good. But now we're at the next level where she's got to get accustomed. And you saw her in the Olympic interview talking about it would do more benefit to her to allow some time off of her feet, allow her some time to actually rehab, allow her some time to actually improve. Linking it all full circle, there's been plenty of things that have been going on outside of the game of basketball. And of course, while there's been accolades and moments in time that Caitlin Clark has been highlighted, whether we're talking about her being pushed on the court instead of talking about her 30-point game, we're talking about people on Twitter and social media creating discourse about, oh, this is a white woman playing in a game that's predominantly led by a black woman, and this is a white woman that's also straight, so it doesn't fit the narrative, and trying to find ways to separate those that are in the league, finding ways to push narratives. Caitlin Clark has almost become the focus of that, or she has become the driving factor for people to try to hide behind, the car that people are able to hide behind and drive whatever narrative they want to push. So there's been a lot of negativity outside of the game that we're not highlighting a lot of the talent. Let's, for example, talk about the 12 players on the Olympic team that made it and are doing big. The plenty of players in the WNBA that are having amazing seasons individually. the negativity has been Caitlin Clark. And this is really what I wanted to preface before I got into the focus of the video, is that people are upset now, even not just about Caitlin Clark's play on the court, but they're upset that she's not speaking to the privilege that she's had to be anointed this position, and it's almost as if she is not deserving of this opportunities that she's been receiving, but she, by not addressing the privilege that she has, is contributing to it and is somehow tied into this racist, supremacist, whatever narrative that they're trying to push to tear the league apart. Caitlin Clark has addressed this. And since then, she's made it be known, I want to focus on basketball and those in my locker room. And we want to work on improving. And to some people now, that has become a bad thing. Let's watch Caitlin Clark address.
Love and peace. I would say that's the biggest thing. I think there's just so much like hate in the world right now. I think just everybody appreciating everybody for who they are and loving on one another. I think that's how I've always tried to go about my life and how I was raised. And I would say that's the biggest thing.
It's surprising to see in this social media all this hate and negativity about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just social media for you. I think being able to get off that, social media is not really the greatest place to ever be on. I think that's something that I've tried to do over the course of my career, is not be on social media too much. And you never want to find your validation from people online. You should care about the people in your circle that, you know, I always said, like, I only care about the opinions of my family and the people inside of our locker room and my teammates, my coaches. You know, that's really all that I concern myself with. And if you live like that, you'll be in a really good spot.
I like that answer. But here we see another interview, more recently than not, where Caitlin Clark was interviewed, I believe this is earlier today, about her name being weaponized in sports. Now, no, every time she does an interview, people feel like she needs to step up and talk about the position that she's in. She needs to address the minorities. She needs to address this community. She needs to address this. She needs to do this. She needs to do this. This is a Caitlin Clark interview. So it's funny enough that she's being asked about her name being weaponized in sports, or being used to weaponize other athletes or to push certain agendas.
It becomes a topic nationally, and a lot of times it becomes divisive. I wonder from your standpoint how you feel about people using your name in whatever culture wars or whatever wars they're fighting. How do you feel about that?
Also a generic question, an open-ended question, and Caitlin Clark, being somewhat media savvy at this point, is not going to be pigeonholed into a certain answer.
It's not something I can control, so you know, I don't put too much thought and time into thinking about things like that. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of it. Like I've said, like, basketball's my job. Like, everything on the outside, I can't control that, so I'm not going to spend time thinking about that. You know, people can talk about what they want to talk about, create conversations about, you know, whatever it is. But I think for myself, like, you know, I'm just here to play basketball. I'm here to have fun. I'm trying to help our team win. Obviously, we've won 3 games, and, you know, feel like we've been in a position to win a few more than that. And you know, my focus is on helping us do that. But I don't, you know, pay much mind to all of that, to be honest.
How much do you think that has impacted your ability to cultivate relationships within the league?
You know, I think everybody in the league understands, you know, one, we're excited about all this attention we're getting. I think we're appreciative of it. I think the league has been great for a really long time. But, you know, my focus is on my teammates. Like, they've been amazing. I don't think it's impacted me making relationships on my team. You know, I'm not obviously talking to people on other teams on a daily basis. Like, I have so much to focus on here, and, you know, getting my teammates to trust me and do all that is my main focus. Same with our coaching staff, and same with this organization. Yeah.
People were upset that she answered the interview like this, guys. No, seriously. And that's been pretty much how all of her interviews have been this season. I can't control the reasons that come into my orbit either, but I have a responsibility to speak against them. Deliberate obtuseness also doesn't absolve you of complicity in white supremacy. Basketball is not played in a vacuum. Though instead of us talking about the talent in the WNBA and highlighting the plenty of talent that's out there, this is the argument we want to have. And you might be saying, Benji, why is this a big deal? Because we've seen other WNBA players make it as if the way Caitlin Clark is addressing situations, topics, and ideas in her interviews about her team and her play is also a negative against her. You have another WNBA player who just went viral for flopping or whatever, or making fun of Caitlin Clark while defending her, voicing right after this interview, how can one not be bothered by their name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and other intersectionalities of them is all nuts. We all see it. We have a platform, we have a voice, and they all hold weight. Silence is a luxury. Full circle, they all, players, media, and fans believe that Caitlin Clark has been uplifted to a position that she doesn't deserve, and that she is only further perpetuating a luxury that she has as a white straight woman in the league, and this is the only reason that she's receiving the accreditation that she is. Guys, what do we think? She also has been the face of, obviously, one of those little storylines in the WNBA because she dated a player that was on the Fever and is currently on the Fever. Like I said, she most recently played against Caitlin Clark. We've seen plenty instances in which these players are asserting that Caitlin Clark is not this GOAT that y'all make her to be. And at the end of the day, we bleed just like she bleeds. And I completely understand and agree to that. Because we've seen that at multiple levels. Victor Wembanyama coming into the league, plenty of people said, yeah, he's tough. But at the end of the day, we got stars here as well. So no one's going to let you get an easy pass. And I understand that same thing is happening in the WNBA. But remember we talked about that players are not jealous and players are not out to get her nor vindictive or anything like that. But we have players saying that Caitlin Clark needs to be addressing the league a certain manner whilst also denouncing her as a face of the league. How does she have such responsibility if she isn't this player that y'all make her out to be? I find that interesting. All right, here's another tweet that has gone viral. I didn't know this was a thing, guys, until I really was able to hop online and see this. I'm online relatively frequently, but this is a woman's actually a sports writer. So that, and a lot of people actually agree with this, that there are people that are villainizing Caitlin Clark's name, weaponizing her name, and using it to draw distinction or to draw a separation amongst the players in the WNBA. And the players believe the same thing. Caitlin Clark should be able to just focus on basketball. Here's the thing, so should other rookies. So should other players in the WNBA. The overall discourse has devolved and become so toxic it's unavoidable. To be immune to it is a privilege. Caitlin Clark is a 22-year-old navigating fame at a level we've never seen on the women's side of sports before. But it's hard to believe that she doesn't realize the weight of her words she carry or the impact of her voice. Don't think she said that. Just think she said, I want to focus on basketball. It turned out to the outside noise and who she may be and should be, hearing that her name is being weaponized in a negative way and being unbothered by it is surprising. Even if she doesn't understand the extent of it, it's simply, yeah, that's not cool, would have sufficed. She has said it, but of course nobody wants to pay attention to that. Similarly, that the narrative was trying to be pushed when she did, remember when she did You Can't See Me, like I said? Well, then Angel Reese did it, and then people said, oh my goodness, so classless, da 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 da. And then people were using that instant to talk about how there's a privilege that Caitlin Clark has because we didn't regard her actions the same way we regarded a black team's actions. Yes, I think that there's some validity to that statement, but long story short, what do y'all think? Should Caitlin Clark be the spokesperson for those using her name negatively? Or should she be the one to talk about her growth as an individual player and her responsibility to her team in order to grant them more wins and develop individually as a player and try to put butts in seats in Indiana? Y'all let me know. The Caitlin Clark discourse has been an interesting thing this season. and it's drawn some wedges between some players. And at the end of the day, though, it has brought some views to the WNBA, and it's got a lot of people tuning in to plenty of names that are completely talented out there on the court. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all follow me and like videos like this, let me know.